got 5 goons and some reinforcements coming in. Here's some more goons now. He's got a couple of zealots in his shuttle. I think NonY's really going to have to rely on some good zealot bombs to save himself here, because Brat looks like he's coming in for the kill.
Yeah, this is a really nice position for Terran. He's managed to get his third base up in reasonable time, at the same time as putting up a very strong push.
Yeah, this shuttle hovering over now, looking to drop next to the tanks. Brat's actually doing a decent job spreading his tanks out, but he's sieged up a whole lot there now, so yeah, NonY's moving in as I expected him to. Just putting some zealots down right next to the tanks. This is actually quite good by NonY. NonY might be able to take this out if he's lucky. He's going to lose a lot of forces doing it though. The zealots have been taken out, but the Dragoons closing in, down to 2 more tanks. The 2 tanks are shelling away furiously. NonY's got some reinforcements coming. Both players got reinforcements coming in, but they're fairly far away. And NonY finally taking out their last tank. But we've got more tanks coming in, and an SB putting up a turret just up the ramp there. So he's just going to be able to consolidate a position and bring in some reinforcements. And meanwhile, both players on 2 bases. So I'm still going to give the lead to Brat at this point. Yeah, thanks to that turret, he's able to ward off the shuttle.
Yeah, and also Brat has the +1 on his weapons upgrade. I think that might have made a bit of a difference in that fight just now.
Quite right. He got that +1 quite a while ago, I think. He went for that fairly early armory. Yeah, just looking at the supply count, we've got NonY ahead, but yeah, I mean, like we were talking about, he's slightly behind on upgrades. NonY putting down a fleet beacon and stargates to the back of his base. So this is really interesting. NonY's only on 2 gas, but if Brat doesn't scout this at all, maybe if Brat is preoccupied, this will work. But what do you think, Fonger? Carriers at this point? What do you think?
I don't know. I think I don't think he's really secure enough to make this work if scouted. But either way, I think his third base is vulnerable at the moment. So yeah, I can say for certain.
Well, NonY certainly is losing a lot of units here. The fact that the tanks are on the high ground makes it a lot easier rather than the other way around. And I think NonY really wants to trade units off at this point and just keep the game reduced to little skirmishes while he tries to build up carriers. But my problem is that he's not going to be able to build carriers very fast. He's on 250 gas right now, like pulled up. So he's only going to be able to spend on carriers quite slowly. And as soon as Brat spots that, he's got 7 factories which should be able to pump out vultures fairly convincingly. And what Brat's doing is he's heading an SCV over to the 9 o'clock position to get the double gas vent. So once the factory goes down, command center goes down there, and the gas is secured, then he's going to have more than enough gas for his Goliath build, and that's really going to be more than enough to deal with just a 2 Stargate carrier build. NonY looking to expand up the 12 o'clock position, but he's already been taken out by a vulture by the looks. So I'm not sure where NonY's going to get his gas from, to be frank.
I think NonY's been really late with securing a 4th base. And as you say, yeah, Brat is just swimming in gas at the moment. He should have no trouble adapting to any kind of carrier off, these few carriers anyway, considering much gas. NonY there.
Yeah. Brat just closing in on this mineral only now, so NonY's going to lose that as well. The carriers are actually showing up now, so NonY's hand is effectively laid down, so to speak. And carriers, I think he's just really desperate to stop himself from losing anything else, and just trying to put some pressure back on Brat, because Brat's been keeping the pressure on NonY for the entire game. Just looking over to Brat's base and checking out all of his factories, he's definitely upgrading Goliath range. He's got 8 factories now with a starport in tow. Tanks coming in, and these tanks are going to do plenty of damage to NonY's ground forces, but the two carriers will eventually get rid of them. Interestingly, Brat is still just rushing in with vultures, and he's just not even caring about the carriers. I mean, part of the reason for that is that NonY's still only got 2 carriers up, and they're still trying to build interceptors. So those carriers aren't really able to do a lot of damage at this point, and Vulture's just streaming in to lay mines everywhere, and this is buying Brat enough time, the time that he needs to get those Goliaths, and soon we'll have Goliaths in support, and soon that base at the 9 o'clock will be up, and nonY definitely doesn't look like he's in position to deal with the 9 o'clock just yet.
Yeah, this doesn't look great for nonY. I see one Goliath has taken off 3/4 of one of his carriers hit points as is, and Brat's actually still pumping out a fair number of vultures. He's just not concerned about the carriers, I don't think.
No, we've even got like +1 weapons upgrading for nonY. I'm not really sure, how we can afford to spend his units. I mean, maybe he'd be better off just building more ground troops at this point and coming back to carriers. I don't really know too much about how this works. I guess once you've committed to carriers, that's pretty much it. You've got to go for it. Sending in another probe to the 12 o'clock, but that Vulture's just waiting for it. And Brat's 9 o'clock is up now. 3 carriers heading across the cliff just to do a bit of damage on Brat's natural expansion. Brat has a few choices here. One, he can stay back and just wait for the carriers to build up and pick off, or he can just go for the jugular and just try and put some pressure on. Either way, he does look like he'll be able to do an alright job. Just got a consistent amount of vultures Goliaths coming in. He's got like 1,000 gas stored up. This is Brad I'm talking about. And soon he's going to have a lot more. I haven't seen any refineries going down at the 9 o'clock just yet, but we'll be expecting to see that as soon as Brat runs low on that. Brat's actually lower on minerals than he is on gas, so I guess it's because of all those vultures, to be honest.
Yeah, I'm wondering if that vulture down at the, just to the right of the 6 o'clock position has actually played an important part, because that's where you'd expect a Protoss to expand against Terran. And I'm wondering if nonY actually sent some probes down there. I didn't see whether he did or not, but if that actually threw off his 4th base timing or not.
I'm not too sure, but this massive fight that's going on over the ramp at the north, nonY's actually losing his carriers to this Goliath force, and Goliaths with +1 damage, obviously very helpful. nonY's entire ground force has been eradicated. I didn't actually expect that, because they seem to have similar ground forces, plus nonY with some carriers on top of that, so I didn't actually expect the Terran to win that fight so convincingly, but then again, it may have been the upgrade that helped a lot there. nonY now sending his carriers towards the 9 o'clock position, but he's only got 2 of them, and he's still having to build interceptors, and meanwhile Brad is just attacking this mineral only, and nonY's just got very few forces to defend. Goliath's coming in now to just harass this expansion. He can pretty much just ignore his 9 o'clock at this point, because he's going to be able to take the game. Brat's vultures have been able to take out the 12 o'clock, well, at least any probes there. And nonY in serious trouble here, unless he gets a whole bunch of ground forces to defend at this point. He's not going to be able to build up carriers at a consistent rate, and at this point I don't really think he can afford to resource-wise. He's in fact now short of minerals when he was short of gas before, so it's just one shortage or another, and nonY being on 2 bases with a Nexus up the top with no probes, he's not able to bring the probes up to the 12 o'clock or the 1 o'clock at any rate, because there's a big Terran army in the way, so I've got to call it for Brad at this point.
Yeah. I mentioned before nonY was playing quite safely at the start. I'm thinking perhaps he played too safely going into the mid-game, and just maybe he expected some kind of 2 or maybe 3 base all-in from Brat with no real intentions of going late game. But I don't know. I can't really think of any other way to explain why he stayed on 3 base so long.
No, Fonger, I think that's actually quite a good analysis. He may well have been expecting a 2 base all-in, and perhaps that's why he didn't go for the quick 4 base when in fact he needed to, because Brat at that stage in the game was just going for that safe 3rd base. He had a turret there, so the observer didn't really see what was going on too well, and that was it. So last-ditch attempt from nonY actually attacking Brat's main as his own base is being destroyed, and Brat here with a whole bunch of tanks just to block off, and there nonY is quitting. So good game. Brat is now going into the second game as the 1-0 lead on Bluestorm. So me and Fong will have that game for you next. Thanks, Fong.
Thank you.